Welcome to RickRackRuby. I'm Laura Cluvo. Today we'll make this small, vintage millinery angel ornament. The reason that I'm calling her a millinery angel is because her wings are made from millinery leaves. Isn't she pretty? Let's get started. I recently purchased these sort of ice blue, velvety, vintage millinery leaves. I thought that these would be good for wings on a small angel. And then as I was digging through, I discovered these little paper forget-me-nots that kind of had the same feel. They're in the same color family and probably around the same era. And so I thought I would combine these into an angel for you. Many of my students ask, where do you get all these vintage supplies? I've been collecting vintage crafting supplies, laces, ribbons, trims, millinery for decades. Of course, you can find them on eBay and Etsy, but my favorite resource is a Facebook group. It's a really well-curated group of vendors who offer authentic vintage sewing supplies. Buttons, ribbons, lace, trims, and that's where I found these. I'll put up a screen to show you the exact name of the group, and I think that you will enjoy being a member and shopping for vintage supplies in this group. You'll need a completed vase. This is about 1/2 inch, some millinery leaves, and you don't have to use vintage, you can always use modern leaves. Some little miniature flowers that coordinate. Of course, the 6-inch tool, 1/16 inch ribbon, 20 gauge gold wire, wire cutters. Here's the lace I've chosen. It's nylon, it's not very old. It's a 12-inch length of 3.5-inch wide lace. The thing that's fun about this is because it is scalloped on both edges, when I make the dress and I gather it up, this is going to create the collar at the top, so I don't need to use an additional piece of lace for the collar. Of course, hand quilting thread, and here's the yarn I'm going to use for the hair. It's by Ice Yarns, www.iceyarns.com. It says wool cotton boucle, and I found this on Etsy. So let's get started. Here's my little face, and I'm going to start with 2 lengths of tulle. It's probably 10 or 12 inches. I always use extra. You can trim it off. Tie it in the center. My glue gun and my sewing machine are always ready. So I'm tying this off in the center, 2 lengths of 6-inch wide tulle, and then I'm going to thread that ribbon through the head bead from the bottom to the top. Scooch that down onto the tulle. There's the knot at the top, but I'm going to back it up and put a drop of hot glue and then slide that head on. The knot is right at the top, and then the glue is in the back. Only a smudge of glue. I tied a knot in the top. Now here's my length of lace. I'm going to make sure I have the right sides together. This is 12 inches, 3.5-inch wide. I'll fold these right sides together, and then I'm going to seam up the back. And then I'll turn it right side out, and I'm going to gather up the top edge with a needle and a double strand of quilting thread. I'm going to secure my thread in the seam allowance by folding over the seam allowance. And then my first stitch goes right over the seam. So stitching there has created a little collar for her, a little ruffle. Insert the angel with the seam at the back. Pull that up nice and tight. And then I'll wrap around nice and tight. Yeah, that's really cute. And secure by going back and forth a few times. This is where I'm glad I don't have a big chunk of glue. Now I'm knotting it off in the back. I'll distribute the gathers evenly, so there's not too many on the left or the right, and then trim off the extra tulle. That looks pretty good. Cute. I'm going to use gold and white baker's twine to make a little bow underneath her chin. You can make your loops as long as you like. Tie a little knot in the end of each streamer. Tie those right away because they do tend to fray. Then I'll arrange the loops and glue on one of these flowers. Just a tiny bit of glue. I'm using hot glue. I'll put that right above the bow. It kind of helps to secure the bow as well. This yarn is a nice, soft yarn. It's a little bit thick for the scale of the doll, so I'm just going to wrap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to tie it off in the center. And set that aside. I need 2 of these. I'll do it again more slowly. Give yourself a nice long tail. Hold it with these fingers and wrap 1, like a figure 8, 2, 3. Then again, leave yourself a nice long tail. Then wrap around, make a complete circle around the bundle and tie it off in the center. Let's start with the back. I will apply some hot glue to the back of the bead, and then I will press the bundle. The center of the bundle goes right behind the hanging loop. To cover the back of the head. And then the second bundle will be glued just in front of the hanging loop. Sometimes I can work it out so that these tails will become her bangs. So I like to give her a chance to have bangs. And then I'm going to apply some glue right here, twist and press. Just a little bit of glue and then twist and press. And the same for the other side. And then twist and press into the side. That looks good. Now let's see if I can trim this off to look like bangs. And there's her bangs. Fluff those out a little bit. She needs a halo. She's small. She only needs about a little more than 1 inch, probably. I'll wrap around the thimble to create a circle shape. So it looks like a hairband. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each end and then press the halo into the hair. And that really looks good with the gold of the bow and the gold of the halo. For the final touch, of course, we have the wings. I'm looking for a pair of leaves that kind of look like they go together. These stems are already twisted together, but I'll just give it an extra little twist, and then I'm going to fold this wire up in front of the wings. I don't want the wire to be in the back. I'm going to put it in the front so that it is secured between the leaves and the back of her head. And just to make sure that it's nice and secure, I'm going to think of something to glue right here. I've got these little goodies. So I think I'll use one of these little daisies. These are about 1 inch, and I'm going to glue that right there. And that will be nice and secure. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.